I feel at one with the CB1000R Neo Sports Cafe Racer from Honda, the new all improved 2018 model, coming to a Honda dealership near you. Okay, so welcome to my channel 0 to 100 adventure, and today I'm going to be reviewing the CB1000R. The first iteration of this bike was brought out in 2008, so the CB1000R is 10 years old. 2018 now marks this complete revised version of the CB1000R. It's got a complete new frame, complete new redesign. I like the look of this bike. This bike, I think, really looks classy. There's nothing that is cheap about this bike, so you can see there is not a lot of plastic on this bike. In fact, I can see the front mudguard probably is the biggest piece of plastic, and then that rear number plate and mud flap with the rear fender as well being plastic. The rest is all good quality metal, so this bike really screams class. Nothing on this bike is mass manufactured, right? It looks really good. I love what they've done with this brushed aluminium. This is, of course, the grey color, and I think this is more sports naked. They named this the CB1000R Neo Cafe Racer, so it's kind of a retro naked cafe style motorbike, but I would say more futuristic cafe racer style. I love the exhaust. Also, it has a kind of aluminium brush finish to it. It sounds awesome, right? It's got the foot pegs which you can easily scrape on this motorbike. Starting front to back, right? This is the Bridgestone tire stock, right? And it is a 120/70 17-inch front tire, right? It's got dual discs in front. It looks like a dual caliper Tokiko brand brake system, so floating calipers in front. On this side here, ABS standard. You can see the dual calipers there from Tokiko, right? It is linked to the rear. Yes, it is. So front and back brakes are linked when you press the back brake pedal. LED flickers, LED front light. The rear view mirrors are okay. This one was a little bit loose. Not the best, not the clearest visibility, but for this kind of bike it is good enough. It's got an inline 4-cylinder engine, 998 cubic centimeters, throwing out a brake horsepower of 143 if I'm not mistaken. I will put the information on this bike down there as subtitles, so you guys can confirm everything that I'm saying. I wasn't planning to ride this bike today. I picked it up at the dealer once I handed in my cross tourer for a service, and the guys there, they know me well. They said, hey, why don't you take this CB1000R for a test ride? And here I am. So the final drive is chain, back tire 190/55 17-inch. It is much bigger than the previous model, being a 180. This tire really hugs the road, really nice. I've always been a big fan of the inline 4-cylinder engines, and I just love this engine on this bike. Yeah, it's putting out 143 brake horsepower. Really good, really good. The bike itself, I like the way it looks. I like this number plate midway on the back wheel. It really looks amazing. It's got the mud fender there as well to protect the monoshock. It's got a monoshock adjustable for preload and rebound. Seat wise, very comfortable. It's got this kind of modern gel kind of feel to it. It is quite a short bike. It's not a very long bike. It feels very short. The sitting position is slightly forward, but the legs are quite high up, kind of a sports racing style. It's comfortable to ride. It's comfortable to ride. It's not the most comfortable. I have had more comfortable bikes, but again, this is a cafe racer style sports naked. You can't expect too much from this bike as far as comfort wise. So on that front, it does very well. You can ride this thing and for quite a while. Let me show you what is under the seat. So basically you've just got a small compartment here. This one here does not come off, or does it? Let's have a look. No, this one here is bolted down, so you can only remove this section. So you've got a little bit of a compartment here to store some tools and maybe some other cloths and so forth, right? You can maybe put in a first aid kit there, have a cloth for when it rains, extra pair of gloves. Nothing else from a storage perspective on this bike. So as you can see, everything here is good quality metal. There is nothing that screams cheap on this bike. Brushed aluminium radiator, right? Upside down forks, beautiful LED front light. From this side it's the same thing. Very little plastic on this bike. I do like the way it looks. It feels really comfortable. As far as instrumentation, you can see there that this bike does have everything you need, right? All the controls are at your fingertips. So you've got your hazards over here, you've got your low and high beams, you've got your selector switch, you've got your modes, you've got your horn, and you've got your flicker indicators left, right. This is how you start the bike, and it's the kill switch as well, right? The instrumentation, big round neutral gear indicator there. You've got your rev counter, fuel gauge, time, ambient or engine temperature. You can set this. It's got 3 different different programs, so standard, sport, user, rain, and it's got the traction settings, it's got the engine brake settings, and it's got the performance settings for each of these. And of course you can set this then individual on the user tab. It's got a little light indicator to show you what setting you're in. So I'm going to be riding on sports. You can see there it's got the lowest traction setting, lowest engine brake setting, highest performance setting. That is now the sports mode, right? So here you can see the engine temperature. It's got average, That's the odometer. So this bike's brand new, 2018 model, 2,710 kilometers. Right. It's got time, average, speed, I suppose, yeah. Liters per 100 kilometer. It's got liters per 100, liters average fuel consumption, average time riding. Oops, sorry. You've got here as well trip A, trip B, and total, and then you've got the program settings. So it is quite a user-friendly operation. You select the mode, you go through the settings to see what you want. It's got oil indicator, it's got a second neutral indicator, it's got the traction control, it's got ABS, and it's got this light here flashing to represent what program you are in. The display itself is backlit, no problems with reading it, really good. This machine does really well between 8 and 10,000. It redlines on 12,000. Power wise from this machine, let me tell you, nothing wrong with this 1000cc engine. Such a small bike, this thing performs, it pulls nicely, no problems whatsoever. Good brakes, good traction, good fat tire on the back with a 190. In my opinion, perfect. Let's take this baby for a ride. Let's take this baby for a ride. Yeah, let's do that. Let's start her up. She's got a nice sound, listen to that. So this is what the LED light looks like. So it's got the standard beam on top and probably the high beam at the bottom, and it's got the LED flickers, so you can see them over there, right? It looks like they stay on, yeah. So they stay on for visibility, and you've got it blinking when you do want to turn the corner. And that's kind of weird. It's got the LED light at the back and the LED flickers at the back, but the back ones are off. So that's kind of a different setup. So the front is definitely on for the extra visibility. Nice touch. Okay, so let's go for a ride, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go for a ride. Okay, so let's take this baby out for a ride and let's enjoy the rest of the afternoon. I've got to take it back in 1 hour, but so let's start while we're at this traffic light. So back in neutral. The bike itself, very comfortable. Small little handlebars, short wheel base. It's got good wheel travel and suspension travel. The suspension itself, you don't feel any of the road. It maneuvers effortlessly. It's got plenty power. Ride-by-wire throttle. Ride-by-wire throttle, very responsive. I mean, fourth gear doing 4,000 revs. If I open, wow, this thing goes, oh baby. Yeah, inline 4-cylinder 1000cc. What do you expect? You've got 4 pistons there delivering plenty torque. This thing's impressive. So, good brakes. I can see already that this thing stops when you tell it to stop. With the traction that it's got with these tires, the 120 in front and the 190 at the back. Wow, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. 143 brake horsepower, I believe this machine puts out on this engine. It's crazy good. This thing is exciting to ride, I can tell you already. I've been riding it for a while before doing this. This bike is crazy fun. It's crazy fun. It's so easy to maneuver around corners. That's third gear, 7,000. 140 kilometers an hour. It picks up. It's not shy. It's perfect. I mean, this is a naked, so don't expect me to push over 200 on this thing. It will feel like I want to be blown off. But I am seriously impressed with this machine. It's got enough power, that's for sure. More than you would ever need. More than you would ever need. And it's got a short little handlebar, but it's comfortable and it is easy. It's light, it's well centered, it's a well balanced machine. The disc brakes in front, incredible stopping power. Gears, silky smooth. It does have a serious clunk putting it into first like most bikes. It's not as refined as the BMW. It's not a showstopper. The gears itself, they're silky smooth to go in. Getting it into neutral is smooth. Of course, I'm not used to it. It's the first time I'm riding this bike, so and coming from a DCT, but no problems with the gears whatsoever. Silky smooth. Very responsive throttle. Let's do some cornering. Whack it into fourth gear. Look at that. Oh, this is so incredibly easy to turn this bike. And I'm giving a throttle 7,000 revs. Whoa, I rammed there. I did some air time there. 170 kilometers in sixth gear doing 7,000 revs. And this thing just wants to go more. It's not shy. This thing wants to hurt. I did some air time there. That's how incredible this machine is. Yeah, this engine just wants to climb. It's incredible. This machine, I would rate it very high as far as the fun factor is concerned. Leaning this thing is almost peg scraping stuff, man. Effortless. Effortless. With a 190 back tire, effortless. It just wants to go into the corners. It wants to lean. It wants to accelerate out. I'm in the city, so I'm going to behave. But let's go do those again. This bike is so much fun. So much fun. I didn't expect that from Honda with this CB1000R. I think this bike is made for everybody, yes, from beginner to advanced, because it's easy to ride, it sticks to the road, light, well centered, easily maneuverable. What can I say? It's got enough power if you're an advanced rider and you want to push it on the open roads and things like that. But the delivery for a beginner is also controllable. It's, you know, it's perfect. It's not all there immediately. You have to accelerate, and if you're an advanced rider, you can push it to its rev limiter. But if you're a beginner, it's perfect. So I would say this bike is for all, beginners to advanced, yeah, to intermediates. It's just a great bike. Display, you can see everything on the display. Everything. Good gear indicator, good rev counter, big digital numeric speedometer, You can see the flicker indicators. It's got a big color-coded light for your different riding modes. So you can see there, if I select rain, it's light blue, standard it's purple, sports is pink. Oops, sorry. Damn, this thing's got power. This thing's got power. Man, it wants to go. I love it. Oh yeah. Man. 143 brake horsepower. This thing is not shy. Short wheelbase. Low. Comfortable. Slightly leaning. Slight forward leaning sitting position. Rear view mirrors. You can see enough. Not the best, not the biggest, but more than sufficient. Oops, sorry. More than sufficient for the job, the mirrors. So what else can I tell you? Brakes. Let's talk about the brakes. Yeah, with the big tires this thing's got, front and back, 120 in the front and 190 in the rear, with the dual discs in front. For the 143, I suppose you would have to have dual discs for the safety. And we'll do a test now. Yeah, this thing stops instantly. No jokes. You won't have any problems with the brakes and stopping with this bike. When you tell it to stop, look at that. It stops. More than enough for this short wheelbase bike, and for the kilos that this thing has. These brakes are excellent. The short handlebars is something that I'm used to, the cross tourer, but it's right for this bike. It's right for this bike. It's not too small. It's positioned right, straight arm ride, slightly forward position, good turning angles. I wonder how many liters this thing, I must check it up. I'll pull it in the subtitles below how many liters this handles. I checked earlier on, it's doing about 7.5 liters to the 100. It's a brand new bike, so, and I've been pushing it, and like most riders, this thing's got 2,740 kilometers, so people kind of push it to the limits. So 7.5 is a lot, but for 1,000 cc, the sitting position on this bike is, like I say, almost sporty, because your knees are bent up quite high. The foot pegs feel higher than what they really are. So, in my opinion, this is a sport naked. It's got a nice sound to it with this exhaust. You don't have to do anything to it. So in fourth gear, this thing is so nice around corners. It's so easy to flick from one side to the next. Look at that. Oh yeah. And plenty power. It just wants to go. 170 kilometers an hour in the fifth gear at 7,000 revs. Okay, last of the cornering for this bike. Yeah, man, this is just so easy. This is just so easy, it's incredible. I rate this bike, the fun factor on this bike, the adrenaline factor on this bike, I put it up there with the very best. I mean, this thing is so much fun to ride. It's so responsive, it's so smooth. It's a good machine. The fun factor, the excitement in this engine, the inline 4, I've always loved inline 4s. It's got so much character. And the fun factor, much more higher than the Boxer engine on the BMW 90. In my opinion, of course, guys, this is all subjective. Yes, you've got to ride. All bikes are good. Nowadays, every bike is good. You've got to find the bike that is your fit. It fits your character. You're one with the machine. So what I might like about this bike, and I like most bikes, like I said, the technology today is so advanced that, the machines have been refined over the years. So every bike's got a certain character. Every bike's got a good quality. It's got pros and cons. So this is all subjective. But for me, riding this bike, I've enjoyed it so much more than the BMW 90. Now the BMW 90's got a 1200 engine. It's got 130 brake horsepower. It's a good looking machine. This is more powerful. This has got 143. This is more fun. This is more responsive. This is lighter. This is easier to maneuver. I mean, don't get me wrong, the BMW is a great bike. But fun-wise, I'm having more fun on this bike. Quality on this, like I've told you, Honda did not cut any corners. Everything here is metal, besides the mudguards and the fenders and things like that. Quality-wise, it's just as good as the BMW. Reliability-wise, I would put it even slightly above par to the BMW. Honda reliability is great. So you're getting a good package. Now I've got to see how much this thing costs, and I will link the costs of this bike down there in the subtitles. You've got to compare the costs, but you can't go wrong with this machine. It's really good. It's got everything in your fingertips. It's got all the controls you need. So I'm really impressed with the CB1000R. I'm really enjoying riding this bike. Again, for city riding, this bike is excellent. In actual fact, it's too good. It's got enough power to do the odd occasional express roads. Look at this. It easily filters through cars. Gears are nice. Drive-by-wire throttle response, brilliant. Comfortable, but squarish, a little bit hard. The seat, like I said, on the walk around. I mean, there are more comfortable seats for sure, but by no means is it uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong, yeah. So, overall, there's nothing else that I can really say about this bike. Good job, Honda. And I'm going to enjoy the last 30 minutes of this bike because I think that you guys did a great job in putting this bike together. I have enjoyed myself tremendously. Really exciting motorcycle. Thank you, Honda. Thank you.
Thank you for watching my channel 0 to 100 Adventure, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe and share to help a guy grow his channel. And if you want to watch more of my videos, please follow the links to the right. Thank you and hope to see you soon.